I hope you're taking in these messages, right? Some things I wrote down real quick. You got to make space for the things you want in your life. You got to make space for it. Gift will make room for you, right? You got to make space for the things that you want to make happen in your life. Are you making space to live the best life that you can? Are you making space to take care of your health? Are you making space to take care of your finances? You have to make space for those things. Something has to be removed so something else can come in. It's really an important message. I hope we're paying attention to those things. Clarity and commitment. Clarity and commitment, the two C's that you should be paying attention to. How committed are you to the life you want? How committed are you to the things that will get you there? And how clear are you on what you want? And how clear are you on the path that'll get you there? Commitment and clarity, incredibly important principles that allow you to get to success. Lastly, they talked about breath. Some of you guys know I do a podcast called The Good Life. We talk health and wealth. I have my buddy Kabi. He's a health coach, right? So I'm obviously on the finance side. So we talk health and wealth. But this concept of breath, right? This concept of breath and understanding that breath is all you have. That's where it starts in your health. It starts in your breath, right? And something that she says, right? People that, right, have lung issues and things like that, right? It's taking away life. It's maybe the belief that you're not deserving of that life. Deeper thoughts, right? But understand all of this stuff gets back to your belief system. And that's what I really want to talk about is your belief system, ladies and gentlemen. Guy at the end said, act as if, right? You have to act as if you were whatever you want to be, right? Act in this present moment, not when you get there, but in this present moment. And that has to do with our belief system, our beliefs. If you believed you were, in top shape, how would you eat? How would you operate in a daily basis, right? Some of you that are in business with me know I've told you before, if you were a Fortune 100 CEO, if you were a top CEO in the world, what would you do with your time? Would your family still ask you to go to the airport? Would your family still ask you to drop them off at places? Would you still use that same time if you saw yourself as someone that made $800,000 a year, $2 million a year? Would you spend your time in the same places? Would people ask you the same things? And would you be able to have an hour and a half phone call with somebody that was venting if you saw yourself as that person? Most likely not. Most likely not. That's why we have to act as if, and then those things come. And again, in our text of 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class, here's what it says. It says, champions develop world-class beliefs long before they become champions. One of the major distinctions between average performers and champions is their belief system. Like champions, average people tend to be a product of their mental programming from childhood. People of influence, such as parents, teachers, coaches, religious leaders, and others, were primary builders and shapers of our early belief systems. In most cases, this programming is limiting because it comes from people who believe they are limited. Say that again. In most cases, this program is limiting because it comes from people who believe they are limited. That's why average people are saddled with a set of beliefs that are more about survival than success. Average people have been programmed to avoid pain at all costs, which promotes a playing not to lose mentality. Many world-class performers were raised with these same beliefs, yet learned to reprogram themselves somewhere along the way. Champions learn how to develop empowering beliefs and invest a substantial amount of time solidifying those beliefs, mostly through their own self-talk. With guidance from coaches and mentors, champions monitor the words they use. They know reprogramming is a never-ending activity. Some people even consider this process positive brainwashing. When aspiring champions learn they can program any belief they wish, and through repetitious, ongoing self-talk, build that belief into a foundation for their consciousness, it's a revelation. A world-class belief system can be created from scratch, no matter what your age, upbringing, or current lot in life. A world-class belief system is a primary factor in the making of a champion, and every great performer knows it. While average people see champions as more intelligent, the champions know better. The truth is that intelligence plays a small part. Belief is the real star of the show. Where does our belief system come from? It comes from the programming that we've received from the people of influence in our life. Parents, teachers, coaches, religious leaders, other people that were around you, your environment. Those are things that prime your belief. And because of that, we can believe that we can do anything or everything, or we could have limiting beliefs that say we're not capable of doing some things. I don't have enough knowledge to do something. I don't have the resources. I'm not destined to be that person. I could never speak in front of a bunch of people. I would never have, right? It's those types of programmings that we have to get rid of. And again, like it says in here, some point along the way, you just have to start reprogramming. We love our parents. We love our environments, the places that we grew up, the people that we had in our lives. Those things, right, are shaped us for who we are to some degree. But if who that person was or who they were shaping is not helping you become the person that you want to become, you have to reprogram yourself. You have to learn how to reprogram your beliefs. Our life is run off of our beliefs, and we have the ability to shape what we actually believe. Again, thesis of this, if you change your thinking, you change your life. They break it down in here, the evolution of a belief system. This is important for us to know. It says parents, teachers, coaches, ministers, friends, relatives, and other people influence a child to say, this is fact. When you influence a young, impressionable mind to say, this is the way it goes. This is fact. This is how it works. This is how you will be. The child accepts that perception of what fact is, even if it's wrong, even if it only came from a limiting belief of that person. That's why parents, we have such an incredible role, and we have to be very mindful of the mindsets that we give to our children of what we believe is fact, because the child will take that, even if it's only our perception of it and it's not correct. It's the way we view the world. It's not the way the world works. We'll still pass that down. And some of that has been passed down to us. But the child accepts the perception of what fact is, even if it's wrong. The child unconsciously ingrains these beliefs in his or her subconscious and builds habits accordingly. You see, the thoughts and beliefs you have about the world help you build habits around those thoughts and beliefs. So that's why we have to now identify at our age, hey, what thoughts and beliefs do I have about money, about business, about success, about my health, about relationships, about people? What beliefs do I have that I've created? Because now that will create my habits. Hope you're following. Change your thinking, change your life. Change the things you believe, it'll change your habits. If you believe all people are bad, it will cause you to have bad relationships because now you guard yourself, and that's a habit that you create that just comes from that thought that you had subconsciously. Then it says here, once the child builds those habits accordingly, the child grows into an adult operating under dozens of faulty beliefs and habits, but is not consciously aware of it. After a while, that habit becomes so ingrained, that belief becomes so ingrained that you're not even aware that you have that belief. And then it says the adult operates under false and limiting beliefs, sets invisible boundaries for his and her life at an unconscious level. This is where you need mentorship. This is where you need coaching. This is where somebody like myself comes in and says, hey, instead of thinking about it this way, think about it this way. You might have been programmed to think about something this way. That's why your habits are such. But now if we can think about it this way, we can change our habits. Not easy, right? Not an easy process, but that is the process. I identify that belief that doesn't serve us anymore. It doesn't get us to the man or woman that we want to be. That thought that doesn't serve us, we change that belief. We reprogram that belief, and then we change the habits. How do we reprogram that belief? It's set it up here through self-talk. It says, with guidance from coaches and mentors, champions monitor the words they use. They know reprogramming is a never-ending activity. It says, when aspiring champions learn, they can program any belief they wish through repetitious, ongoing self-talk, builds that belief into a foundation for their consciousness. Repetitious, ongoing self-talk. A book I always mention to you guys, you might have heard it. It's called What You Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. What You Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. In that book, he talks about learning how to talk to yourself and not just listen to yourself. Sometimes we just listen to our thoughts. We listen to that negative side. We listen to that doubt. We listen to that anxiety. We listen to it. But instead, we have to learn how to talk to ourselves and reprogram that thought, positively brainwash ourselves, tell ourselves the good things, talk about the strengths, talk about the optimism, say these words over and over and over, listen to these words over and over and over. These videos that I show you, this is a form of positive brainwashing. If you hear the same message 2, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, and it starts to get into your mind, you will start to believe those things. If all you do is watch Netflix and murder mysteries and all that stuff, it gets into your mind over time. It gets into your mind over time. That's what it does. So we have to change and reprogram our self-talk, so that we can have a better outcome, so that we can change our belief system. You will only live your life to the level of your beliefs. If you believe something is possible, then you'll live your life to that. If you don't believe something is possible, if you don't believe that's cut out for you or that you could do something, then you won't. It's that simple. But it's hard to change our beliefs because these are ingrained from childhood, from all of our experiences, from when you didn't have a coach and you didn't have a mentor and you didn't have anyone. So you had all these experiences. We had all these experiences. Childhood, 18, 20, 22, all these things that you go through by yourself, then it shapes the way you look at life. It shapes your beliefs. And if you never have anybody come in and say, hey, how did we get to this belief? Does that belief really serve us? Is that really the belief that's going to help us get to where we want to go? If we don't ever challenge those beliefs, we'll keep living the same life. We'll keep having what we have. We'll keep accepting what we accept. That's why changing our beliefs is so important. This unknown quote up here says, they can because they think they can. They can because they think they can, right? I'll give you a couple other quotes that I've heard before, right? Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. So you might as well just believe that you can. If you believe you can't, you're already taking all the opportunity and possibility out of your mind. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. Also heard this one for the money people. Money doesn't go to people that deserve it. Money goes to people that believe they deserve it. Money doesn't just go to people that deserve it. Otherwise, the best people in the world, the kindest hearted people, the people with the best integrity and, right, the most generous, they'll have all the money. That's not the way it works. It's the people that believe they deserve money. And anyone can believe they deserve money. Hitler believed he was doing the right thing, right? People can believe anything they want. So if you just believe that you deserve it, it'll come. If subconsciously you don't believe that you deserve it, this is a big part in money, guys. You know, we talk money. If you don't believe you deserve money, unconsciously, if you don't believe you've done the work, if you don't believe that it should come to you, it won't either. This is where, right, understanding that the work that you're putting in, it's not a wish, right? It's like at a certain point in time, you know that you've done so much work, you've done so much in your life, in your business, in your, right, in the things that you want, that you deserve what comes to you. That's when it starts to come. It's not just that you wish it to come or you hope it'll come. You believe it. You believe it. So the action step for today in this book says, make a list of your most closely held beliefs. Your most closely held beliefs. And begin to process the question of whether they are serving you or holding you back. Are those beliefs that you have about money, about health, about relationships, about the future, about our world, about people, closely held beliefs, are those serving you to get to the man or woman that you need to be? Or are they holding you back from that person? Are they a source of fear and anxiety and guilt and shame and worry? Question their validity. Question how valid they are. This is like, right, kid boogeyman under the bed type of stuff. Like, is it real? Is it there? If I just open it, like if I look at it, is it there? Is it really doing something? You got to start asking yourself these questions. Question the validity of it. Are they relevant? Are they out of date? Is the belief system that you've created about something, was that from when you were 18? Was that from that traumatic experience when you were 19? And it's something we still hold on to when we're 39 because we had that experience? Is it something that you just felt 4 years ago and now you believe that's the way it's going to be? You have to question these things over and over again. Are they valid? Is it relevant? Is this an out-of-date belief? It says here, knowing that behaviors follow beliefs. Your behaviors follow beliefs. Give yourself an opportunity to discard or upgrade any beliefs that are limiting you. If you know that the belief that you're holding is not helping you get to where you want to go, let's discard it. Let's upgrade that belief. Let's believe something different. Let's choose to believe something different about our life. And that's how we go do it, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, you change your thinking, you change your life. You change your thinking, you change your life. You change the belief system that you have, wherever it came from. It doesn't matter where it came from. We've all been through some things. We've all had people that have not been the greatest influence in our life. We've all taken in messages and things that have not served us. But if we can identify those beliefs and then through positive self-talk, through repetitious self-talk, by telling ourselves the other things and not just listening to ourselves, we can completely go and change our entire life. You can change what you're destined to do. You can change what you want to have. You can design the life you want. That's what this is about. Don't just take the life you have. Go design the life you want. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. If those of you that have children, your children deserve it. Your grandchildren will deserve it. Somebody has to break the cycle of whatever's been going on. And because you're here getting this information, you have to apply it. It's too crowded down here at the bottom, guys. It's time to get to the top of this thing. You all got to get to the top. We love you guys. We want you to win. You deserve to win. Jump back on Friday. We're going to dive back into another message. Again, share this with somebody that's going to benefit, that you know needs to hear these things to get their day going. But most importantly, you apply this in your life. You apply this stuff in your life and watch your life change. So I love you guys. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll talk Friday. Take care.